And also I will share my screen. Okay, the live streaming is now enabled. So back to our agenda. I'm today's moderator. This is Feynman, and glad to have everyone in today's meeting. Today, we're gonna have two topics collected from the community. One is to triage GitHub issues in notation v2 milestone, v2 alpha milestone. I think we triaged those issues and marked 7 issues to that milestone. I think at the end of the day, I think it worth us to revisit those work items and see whether those work items are still valid for our priorities. Second, we're gonna talk about notation v1.4 alpha release. We have included one of the critical feature, which is blob signing and verification. We're gonna take a look at the release plan later. Any topics and questions before we get started? If not, I think we can start from the first one. We're gonna triage GitHub issues in V2 alpha milestone. Okay, so let's go to the milestone list. We're gonna find this milestone. So we have 7 open issues in this list. For those issues which already have open pull requests associated with, I think we can skip those. The first one and the second one, those have pull requests. That means we are already in progress. Okay, I think we can start from the third one, improve error output for notation plugin. This is it's a relatively old issue. We have been discussed for 1 or 2 times at least. I think we already have the error message enhancement guidance added to the notation CLI repo. So improve the error message should be a part of that strategy. So how about we still keep this as alpha 1 and we can articulate on the desired error message for each scenario? If no more concerns, I think we'll still keep this in V2 milestone, V2 alpha milestone. And let's continue. Next one is to add a new field to the signature payload, which is the artifact type, to identify the signature type while pushing a signature to the registry. So this is the issue raised by the Harbor community maintainer. Oh, I believe this is also a part of the OCI 1.1 spec support, right? That's another issue, I believe, created by Rakesh.
Yes. The 1.1 actually the recommended manifest is to use artifact type for indicate the type of the artifact. Um, yeah, so it's related. So currently um, we are what we are doing is that in the media type field, yeah, we specify the type of the signature. So yeah, although it's compatible, but it is not the recommended way.
It's not fully compliant with OCA 1.1's practice.
No, 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 not it's a compliant, but it is the recommended way to do that. So when we do this, the 1.1 is not officially released. So at that time, we are using the media type of the config for the signature type. Then later on, once the OCL 1.1 officially released, we didn't use the recommended way, but both are compliant according to the specification.
Correct. I think this is a valid feature request, but depends on whether we have any resource and bandwidth to continue work on this effort. As far as I know, at that time, Harbor want to filter out the artifact and the referrals by artifact type because they were implementing such kind of feature to filter out the signature, SBON, and other supply chain artifact on their user interface. So that's the original motivation that they want Notary project signature can be filtered out through the artifact type. Do we see strong motivation that we want to implement this feature in 2.0 alpha 1? This is a part of the OCI 1.1 support, right?
Yeah, I think we can put in the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have
Uh,
a signee for this, so um, if if you are interested in taking this issue, you can comment in this issue, and we can also. I'm not sure whether it Versa's mark it as good first issue or help wanted, so that community folks can share their interest in this issue.
Actually, I have a question on Brian. So will you be able to contribute into the Notary project as you did previously? Or you meaning, I mean, yeah. So question to Byron.
I don't think I'll have the bandwidth to be able to contribute right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think later on, if you have the bandwidth, you can, yeah, pick up the issues that are in the milestone. Yeah.
Okay, so we will still keep this issue in our V2 alpha milestone. So for the labels, do we have concerns if we add the good first issue or help wanted to let people know that this is an issue open for any community folks?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it is good for the first issue because it also requires some specification changes for for the signature format because it is different from the current signature specification. So we needed to have the spec update first, then implementation.
The spike should be a very tiny change because it will only reflect on the artifact type, right?
Yeah, from the change point of view, it could be straightforward, but we needed to figure out because that means we will have a previous version use the previous format, right? Which one is the recommended one, and how to handle it from backward capability point of view, and which one is the uh, recommended one. So I think it is it fits into the V2 scope because we will change. I mean, if we want to do this, we basically want to make it as a default, right? Which is different from the previous signature format. Yeah, I think we can decide it later and just keep it as it is. We can decide later.
Yeah, sure. Back to our agenda. Sorry, back to our milestone list. So previously, I think what we aligned is block signing and verification, OCI spec 1.1 support, formatted output support, and the diagnose experience enhancement. I think this issue is duplicated, right? Allow users to specify that digest of signature should be returned from signing operations.
For this one, I remember Junjie has a PR for this, right? Is Junjie in this meeting? Yeah, Junjie is in this meeting.
Yeah, I have a PR to add the signature manifest digest output.
Looks like this issue is duplicated with another one. Another one was created by me, I think. Print out the signature digest when signing an artifact.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's mark it as duplicated. And also we can link the pull request to this issue as well. Okay, I just cross-link that pull request with this issue.
Yeah, maybe you can also change, update my name to Junjie.
Let's move on. We have this one we already trashed, and this one. This is a part of the formatted output support for notation key and certificate list. Very old issue, but overall, the formatted output is in our roadmap. maybe not only for the certain key list.
Yes, but this one is the previous one is in the 2.1 we charged previously. If you can open the duplicate one, so I'm thinking that whether we should put, I mean, we needed to have a general guidance on the formatted output, the structured output for all the commands. The key and the third is just those two are just part of those commands. We needed to have a general guidance on the output first, then we will design the individual output for each command. So I would suggest that we can put the structured output to 1.2. If you,
1.2.
because it's part of the structured output, if you can click, if you go down, click that one, yeah. This is actually a general document for all the notation commands. Key and third is part of this. So we plan this in 2.1. So I think the key and the third command should be also done in 2.1.
So I think ideally we should have the proposal doc, or we say specification, ready for the general formatted output feature. Then we can consider the implementation later on.
Yeah, we need the proposal first, and also the proposal for each command. How will the output look like, such as what metadata we need to include in the output. So we need to have those first.
I have such kind of experience to define the formatted output in Aura's project. I think some of those work that we can reuse and reference in notation CLI. I will try to have this proposal doc available in notation 2.0 alpha so that we can decide whether we want to bring this functionality to notation 2.0 alpha or defer it to 2.1. I remember, Junjie, you shared some interest in taking the formatted output support. So I will work on the proposal doc first, and you can decide whether and when you want to take up this issue.
Sure.
Yeah, because it is just now the milestone is 2.0.0 alpha 1. So in alpha release, we don't have to have all the feature ready. So we could have alpha 2 to include other features. So yeah, so yeah, we can make a decision later on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of delivering the formatted output feature incrementally. For example, we have multiple commands that may need formatted output support. So I'm thinking that we can support the most frequently used features, such as notation, key, and certificate list to support JSON output in Alpha 1, or maybe beta, or maybe in a certain release. And then we can start replicate this kind of design to other commands. We don't need to have all of those notation commands ready in a certain release?
Yeah, I think we can have an overall guidance first. Then, speaking of the commands, I think the sign and the sign, especially the sign part, sign command uh, could be considered first, because we also have several issues asking when sign it's better to output more metadata so that the user can use for later for some later work. For example, the signature manifests, signature digest, and also even for some metadata included in the signature, which can be used by, for example, OAuth tool to push or attach some information. So we can decide on which command to be done first, but we can have the general guidance ready first.
Sounds good. I think I can create another issue to track the specification work, and also we can break the notation commands to support formatted output into several issues. This one only covers the notation key and cert list, right? Okay, prior discussion, I think we will have the specification ready first, and we can decide, then we can decide which command we will support first, and we will use an incremental approach to deliver this feature to notation commands. Sonia, if you have seen any GitHub issues attracts your attention, feel free to raise your hand and share your ideas.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay, this is the last one. I believe we are already working on it, so we don't need to repeat and trash this issue again. Looks like we have only two major work items in notation 2.0 alpha 1, in addition to the sign and verify blob arbitrary data. So I think it's still possible that we can bring the formatted output support in notation v2, I mean 2.0, but it depends on how will the specification, the proposal doc going. Hai, please.
Yeah, how about the first issue, support clean up the source key? I remember we also need a spec update first, right? Yeah, this issue, or although it has a PR, but I think that PR was closed.
Yes, that's correct. Good catch. This pull request was closed due to some controversial discussion in the pull request.
Yeah, I think the ask is still valid, especially the test key is just within 24 hours, and it is not easy for user to clean up. So maybe we just needed to design what will be the flag so that we can, yeah, we can fix this.
That's true. In terms of the priority between cleanup, command, and also the formatted output, I personally think that supporting formatted output may have higher priority than this one because for the cleanup scenario, we have the workaround that users can manually use notation cert, delete, and the key delete to manually delete those key and certificate files from the local file system. But for formatted output, currently we don't have any capabilities to support that scenario. I think this issue is still important, but it's nice to have. Depends on whether we have the guidance for formatted output support. If we completed the formatted output specification, I think we can have some bandwidth to create another specification for the cleanup commands.
Yeah, for this one, we just needed to update the notation third spec. I think I can take this. I think it should be the main problem should be the flag name. I think previously we almost reached alignment on the name, but got distracted by some other things. So the PR was closed and we didn't focus that. I think you can assign this PR to me, add my name to the assignees. I will work on the third spec to probably add another flag for cleaning up the keys and the certificates.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I will create the PR for review. Yeah.
Thanks for volunteering on this issue. Just added you as a assignee. So basically, we have trashed all of those issues, and most of the items have assignees. For those work items that doesn't have assignees, that means those issues are still opening for community folks who want to pick it up.
Hello, Feynman. For the third issue, improve arrow output for notation plugin. I remember that we have a PR to improve the plugin error message about half years ago. So I think I can evaluate this issue, whether it is still an issue. So I think you can assign this issue to me. I can try those error message again and check whether we need to fix them.
Sounds good. Thanks for volunteering. So we will need to double check whether those error messages are still valid or not, right?
Yes.
Some of those error messages may be fixed in the plugin side because notation retrieved this error message from the plugin. So I think we can check that. Just assigned. I see. I just noticed that we have another new guest joined today's community meeting, Victor Lu. Welcome. And if you don't mind, feel free to open your microphone and give you a brief introduction.
Yeah, I'm independent based in Florida. I've been following what TUF is and just want to come here to listen, see how Notary, which is basically a TUF implementation, right? What is current status?
Great. So where are you from?
Tampa, Florida.
Okay. Welcome, Victor, again. Well, I think we just finished the first topic. We trashed all of those issues in notation v2.0 alpha milestone. The second one would be discussed the v1.4 alpha release for blob signing and verification. Yi, would you want to drive the discussion for the second topic?
Yeah. So currently we are working on blob sign in the V2. So I'm thinking whether we should cut the beta release on 1.4 first. Because if we only, for example, release V2 half one, because V2, the major version is stepped, so user may not willing to update the current notation for give it a try. But for the 1.4, as we discussed previously, we will have the blob sign in the 1.4 stable release. So I think it would be helpful to have 1.4 alpha release first and keep iterating some other features in the V2 alpha milestone. And there is upcoming KubeCon event. I also plan to use the 1.4 alpha release for showcase the blob signing feature. Yeah, so this is many a question that we can align on it, and especially the question for Shui and Patrick. Any comments from your side? Shui, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, my question is that maybe we can consider the 1.4 alpha release for the blob signing, and I plan to use this for demonstration in upcoming KubeCon.
Why can't we just use the V2 alpha version for the demo?
Yeah.
And so my suggestion is that we should release the V2 alpha version as soon as possible, and then we can let the user to have a try. And if there's no major issues in the alpha version, then we can consider to backport it into the v1.4. Otherwise, you will find, okay, if we find that, okay, it's not the desired behavior, or we need to change, because the v1.4, as you said, it's a stable version. So we probably need to think a lot about that.
Yeah, my thought is that if we use V2, because V2 has some other features, for example, the default referrals behavior is changed in V2, right? V2 also the major version is updated. So I'm a bit concerned that whether user would like to give it a try because it's indicating some breaking changes.
Why not? They will, even you release the 1.4 alpha version, they will not use them in the production. There's no difference.
Yeah,
And for demonstration, if you demonstrate latest version, yes, at the KubeCon, I think you should demonstrate the state of the art of the notation instead of just a small incremental minor version, and it's an alpha minor version.
Yeah, I understood that part. It is just that we will release 1.4 for the blob sign. So if I use V2, I also need to explain that we also have a minor release for the blob sign, right? So So that's the reason I would think that why not I just use 1.4 so they can give it a try. If everything works, we can we can continue the implementation to make it to better than release candidate for 1.4. So that's the main purpose, because we have some other features that will not be delivered in 1.4.
The question here is we don't have enough resources for alpha, but we do have resource for 2.
And I mean, if that is the case, I use V2 Alpha to do the demo, then I will tell the audience that we will have a 1.4 for the block sign, right?
Yes. So for me, the priority is that the V2 alpha is over the 1.4 alpha.
Okay, so that means for the milestone charge just now, those could be alpha.2, right? So because we needed to have the alpha.1 released as soon as possible for the block sign, because all the PRs basically have been merged, and we needed to get prepared for KubeCon. So we needed to cut alpha.1 for
Yes.
in V2 for block sign, and the issues that we just charged will be in alpha.2 or
Beta 1.
or beta 1, yeah. Okay, I think if based on the current situation, I think it's okay. But I will additionally mention that we will have 1.4 for block sign, because it will not introduce breaking changes. So for some customers, they would like to try in their or use in their production environments.
I'm also good whether we want to have the block signing and verification feature in V1.4 alpha release or either V2 alpha release. At least it should be an alpha release.
Yeah, I also have a question to Josh or Brian, because previously when Pradesh, Rakesh, they are working on block sign, so there are some use cases from your side. So I'm not sure. Once we have the V2 Arc.1 released, maybe you can also bring back to your customers or users to give it a try and provide any feedbacks, so that we can iterate on this block sign feature.
So I think you're just sort of looking for general feedback on the feature.
Yeah, general feedback, and because it also involves some command line, new command introduced, so the user experience or configuration, anything related to feature are welcome.
It's a fair question. Let me circle back on our side and see who we would have who would be best suited to take a look at that. When are we expecting that to actually be available?
I think the plan is for the alpha.1 could be released as soon as possible. I think maybe starting from today, the release process can be kicked off, because we have all the PR merged for block sign. Then once the alpha.1 is released, maybe you can spend some time internally and asking user to provide feedback. There's no urgency on this, just to have your users or customers to see whether they have any feedback on using this feature. And also maybe I'm not sure whether Rakesh is back, because there should be some asks previously on this feature. So it's better that we can get the feedback on that.
Patrick, please.
Yeah, so we cannot start the release right now because we have one or two PRs that's pending review and merge. They are about the policy init command. So once those two PRs gets merged, we can start the release process.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding.
Okay, I guess just to close on the Amazon side, we are hoping to have some more folks who can help out with especially some of the more customer facing pieces of this, and getting the feedback and getting that in. We don't have those right now, and I'm not expecting them in the next in the next couple of weeks anyway.
Okay.
So I would say once that release is ready, definitely go ahead and I assume that'll be posted in the Slack channel or something. And we'll take a look if we have capacity, but don't block on us or anything.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. So let's make the release alpha.1 release ready first. Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we have two pull requests still under review. So maybe we can revisit the timeline by end of this week and see whether those two pull requests can be merged, and we can decide whether we can release v2.0 alpha 1 by end of this week or maybe early next week. Okay, I just noticed that we have one more new attendee joined. I'm not sure whether I pronounced your name right, D-Sung or Disu. If you don't mind, feel free to open your camera and say hi to everybody. If you are not convenient, that is totally fine. And we will capture your name in our meeting notes. And this meeting has already been live streamed. That means we will upload the recording to our YouTube. Any questions? We just finished two topics from our agenda items. Sonia, as you just mentioned that you are interested in contributing to the Notary project, we are willing to help you get onboarded and get started with notation. If you have anything that you would like to try or you wanna have some help from the community, feel free to let me or let the community maintainers know. If no more questions, I think we can end up today's meeting earlier and give 12 minutes back to all of our attendees. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to reach out us on Slack channel or on our email list. We're already there to help.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I had a question for you, which is like I'm also on the COPA project. So I was curious if you guys use COPA for patching.
If you mean in the Notary project, we
Yeah,
have
it's also co-contributors are Microsoft.
So it's a CNCF sandbox project called Copa CTL.
Yeah, I know Copa project. I personally use it for some small demo, but in the Notary project development workflow, we have not leveraged Copa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I will stop sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.